Cheers. Mr. Q. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in that technicolor rainbow between it's your boy, Trey Proper.
It's your boy, Big Herb.
And Mr. Petty.
Forget that guy. He's never going to stay. So,
what up?
Welcome into another COVID-sponsored episode of Learn Week. We yet again are still in our secluded locations.
Yeah.
Some know, some don't. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and just jump right into our character of the week.
Let's go.
That's me.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Character of the week. Today's character of the week is Mike Duncan Hager, also known as Hager. He's from Capcom's Final Fight series. He's one of the three characters. Is Hager, Cody, and Guy. Traditionally wears like a green brownish pants, brown boots, and a weird like belt strap suspender thing, whatever. He's of Scottish descent. He is a former pro wrestler. It's called like Scottish black hold wrestling style. He is a former pro wrestler turned mayor. You don't see those often. That's just a work of fiction, I'm telling you. Art imitate life. In the first Final Fight game, he was a mayor whose daughter was kidnapped by the Mad Gear gang. He enlisted help of his daughter's boyfriend, Cody, and then some random mutual friend of theirs named Guy. And that's the Final Fight series all the way through. He's also been in other games because Capcom loves recycling their characters. He's been part of Saturday Night Slam Masters. He's been in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He was also in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Super or Ultra Marvel vs. Capcom. He was also in Namco vs. Capcom and SNK vs. Capcom. He's also been in cameos and backgrounds in a bunch of other games, such as like some Chun-Li stages, like Street Fighter Alpha, Alpha 3, just various backgrounds, because like I said, Capcom just loves recycling their characters. So lots of shepherd pie and haggis, and a salute to you, Mike Hager. Back to you guys.
Okay, so thank you, dude, for once again doing an amazing job.
So Rick, is it Hager or Hager?
It's Hagar.
Hagar.
Okay.
I thought it was Hager.
Hagar.
Hager is the pants.
How about the fact that he's still
a brand of underwear?
about the fact that he's actually a mayor? That was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
that was the first
inspiration from.
That was the first thing that it said in the game was like the mayor of the city who's a former pro wrestler. I'm like, what? I mean, it even says, hello, this is the mayor. What? My daughter's been kidnapped.
Kane was just sitting at home playing Streets of Fury or whatever.
Final fight. My bad. Oh,
he could be a mayor. I could be a mayor. Let's do this.
I can do this.
No, because I remember the opening sequence had like, I think it was Cody. Cody was like a janitor, so he had his daughter's boyfriend was like a janitor who happened to be watching over the TV,
and they all happened to be swole.
Yeah, at the same time, he's like, my daughter's been kidnapped. My girl's been kidnapped.
Let's go.
That was all the plot you needed for a side scroll beat 'em up game. Someone's been kidnapped. Okay, I'll go with you.
Everybody's girlfriend got kidnapped in the 80s. That's just how it happened.
Yeah.
Everyone's
I think Mario was the standard, right?
Yeah.
None was more brutal than Double Dragon.
He punched her in the stomach, threw over his shoulder, and then ran.
Let's go.
And then
Wait a
ran
minute.
10 levels ahead.
So let's go ahead and get into our church announcements. They're going to be real quick. Top of the list: wash your effing hands, and just wash your hands. In other news, we had to close down the wharf in DC because idiots are still out there.
Congratulations, fuckos.
Now we can't get shrimp.
Just because you ain't got to work doesn't mean you can go be stupid. Like,
I think there was only one person with a face mask on down there. Like one person out of all of it. No, I'm saying it's wrong regardless. But why are you down? Hell, just take your ass over to the local Giant or Safeway.
They ain't got nothing in there.
Mine's does. So
It's delivery services everywhere.
Yeah,
there are.
I just got an ad before we started this show. I got an email from a company that delivers seafood.
Yeah.
Like,
Cameron Seafood is still open for me.
Yeah.
Bro, like y'all gotta be smart about this. And to all of you conspiracy theorists out there that are saying that this is fake and it's a government ploy, go read a book. Go do something else productive with your time.
Idiots.
I don't know. Right, fan fiction is pretty cool right now.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It's great. I've been reading. Anyway, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. The next on the church announcements is, of course, I want to give a shout out to homeboy Jesse, aka the Haunter at YouTube. He's been doing a couple of movie reviews. You know, we want to help everybody get up there and do what they got to do. He did a review on The Ritual on Netflix, and now he has another one up for Onward from Disney. So if you want to be spoiled, you just want to see a review, check him out on YouTube at The Haunter at YouTube. And then also this week, the announcement was dropped that our cousin Devin, aka Smiley, me and Rick.
Yeah, your cousin.
Shut up, man. Yes, my cousin. Okay, she has launched a sketch comedy series that's going to be released on the website sketchlingscomedy.com. A Sketchlings comedy series sketch show or something. It's a whole bunch to say, but it's going to be link is going to be posted up later, and it's going to be dropping on April 9th, and you might see a familiar face on there. Your boy got some
trade on IMDb, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be famous.
Yeah. I want my own trailer, Mr. DeVille.
What's my motivation?
Oh my God. Just shut up. But yeah, shout out to her. And lastly, a special shout out. A year ago this time, a good friend of ours, a friend of the show, Robin, passed away. And just wanted to put a glass up for the man. We miss you, homie. Thanks for all the fun times and everything. This shot's for you.
Fuck cancer.
All right. Yes, fuck cancer. So, switching gears, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
It's Mania time.
I thought we were talking about Herb.
Oh, we was talking about what? Wow.
Shit.
Wow.
Really? Damn. So,
Silver platter.
Thanks a lot, ass clown.
Macho man ass
Shade
clown.
in the morning, shade in the evening, shade at supper time.
But yeah, going forward, let WrestleMania.
Last night, we had the first part of a two-part series for the first time ever in WrestleMania.
Too big for one night.
Too big for one night.
That's what she said.
Sorry, I have to rearrange because I need people to be able to hear me.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It wasn't as bad as a lot of people want to make it out to be. I honestly did enjoy it. Now, was it WrestleMania quality, like the whole like grandeur and the whole like lights and fireworks and like for every victory it was like a whole like firework 4th of July display? No, but for all in all, for a wrestling show, it was pretty good.
And the reason why is because Triple H was running the show. Yeah. So, but
I mean, I think it's a good match because you also had people who actually worked their asses off. Like, some of the highlights for me, that Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins match.
Yeah.
That was that spoiler for anyone who didn't watch it, but oh well. Like that elbow drop was amazing.
Yeah, it really was.
Like next 2K21 is gonna have that feature where I can do a running like drop or dive off of a WrestleMania thing.
No.
It should.
It was hands down the best match of the night. However, I feel like it's overshadowed by the piss poorness that was put on by the other matches. Like I feel like the finishes were horrible. You look at the Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch match.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of roll-ups at this point. It's like get a decisive victory.
A roll-up at WrestleMania.
It was a decisive victory. It was a decisive victory. That's why she went with a roll-up, though. She won last year's with it too. No, but here's the thing. My only issue with that finish is the fact that they built up Shayna Baszler to be basically the female equivalent to Brock Lesnar. Like she's supposed to be this unstoppable force, like this monster, right? And then like she lost the same way that Steve Austin lost, and the way Samoa Joe lost. Anyone who has like some sort of like choking finisher, they always lose. Like they rolled up and their shoulders.
She lost the way that she lost the way that R-Truth wins the 24/7 title.
He lost last night.
I'm gonna make a wrestler
and your monsters. He's gonna win it back tonight, probably on some shit.
He is.
But you can't have your monsters out there losing like that. Like, and if they are building her up to be the top women's heel on Raw, she can't lose for a while. Like she can't lose for a while. After
like
this.
when they displayed her
destroying people,
like she did at the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Like when last review when she did the Elimination Chamber, she tore through. Like she's a cage fighter. Where is she at? In a cage. She tore through all that division.
So all that build up to end it with a roll up. Like
that was a shitty exit.
I would have accepted a DQ finish. I would have accepted that.
You know what? I'll say this. Can we agree that despite the WWE, it shows you why it's great and it shows you why it's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Vince has all of these great workers who in the matches they do the work. They work their asses off. They put on great matches, but then at the end of the match, you just see that overwhelming "I rule with an iron fist" Vince touch put to it. It's just like, all right, you're gonna do this and then you're gonna end it this way. And you can just tell that, and that's what we saw last night.
Man,
it was just fairly disappointing. Like you guys said, you build her up for a long period of time. Actually, since she lost the NXT title in December, when you build her up, she's going through just kicking everybody's ass, and all of a sudden she just a fucking roll up. Like, come on, do something better. It's WrestleMania. It's bad enough that we can't even people can't even actually be there for the show. And then you end it on a roll-up.
I mean, we can honestly... I mean, all right, so, again, the match wasn't bad. My only issue is, like, all right, for such a dominating force, they definitely made Becky Lynch look strong in that match by giving her, like, a back-and-forth, like, even flow battle to it. Like, it wasn't like she battled from as an underdog. She almost was, like, damn near equal with this supposed monster who's been going over this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And if
they gotta do that, she's a champ.
But to end in that way is what like really just made it less. Like she couldn't use her finisher, which is disarmer, which is a submission hold. She couldn't. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what other finishers would be before the disarmer, but she just that weak ass rock bottom on the thing, like
Becky Lynch is supposed to be.
Jump, you fall.
I say like they're both supposed to be like tougher than tough women, and they're both supposed to be like these fighters to end all fighters. You just have it like with some type of double DQ because they're just fighting all over the damn place. You know what I mean? Like
they missed the count with that. Yeah, missed the count.
I could even deal with that.
They're fighting outside so long that 10 count goes off and there's a double disqualification. I would have kind of accepted that, except for that's also kind of BS too. But I get that. That would have been a better ending than a roll.
I just say that plays to both of their characters more. That's my whole thing.
Okay. So do you think that was the weaker match of the night?
No.
No. The weakest one, in my opinion,
and Goldberg.
I don't think that was the weak. I mean, if we're talking about the weakest one was the one between Baron Corbin and Elias.
Oh, dude,
that's the weakest.
That was pretty weak. That was so weak. I forgot about it.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm over here like, they did wrestle.
So just to preface this right, for the people who don't realize what we're doing today is WrestleMania. This whole weekend is WrestleMania weekend. We're all wrestling fans. So this is going to be a wrestling heavy show. So,
as if you can't tell by this shirt that I'm wearing, which is a Macho Man Randy Savage shirt.
And a Fiend
sponsored by Trey's favorite accessory to ramen, Slim Jims.
Sponsored by Florida Palm Trees.
You did not just say that. Shut up, Rick.
Damn it, Rick.
Wow. I have no clue.
Who's getting the call?
Not me. So.
Anyway,
real
so
quick.
me personally, I think that Oldberg and Braun Strowman put on the worst match next to Baron Corbin and
Elias.
Because Goldberg refuses to get into shape. Like he just thinks
so,
that you can stay muscular.
He looked more like Gilbert last night than I've ever seen.
He did. Did you notice that he had, like, normally Goldberg has definition in his biceps? His biceps were almost deflated. Like he looked really, really bad.
Oldberg.
See, like it's getting bad when his body hair is gray. Like,
right. Oh yeah, I did notice that.
Like, okay,
like
so
we're not forward to that.
My only problem is that, like, all right, so,
I'm not looking forward to that at all.
All right, so here's the thing about Goldberg that I've never understood why Vince kept pushing Goldberg as this unstoppable thing. Like, all right, when he first had him, when he was like back in the early 2000s, he was in shape and everything. He was young, fresh off of like whatever. Like, okay, Goldberg has never put in years of training. He's never put in years of working. He doesn't have any experience at all. So, like, if you combine all the years of Goldberg working, it's probably still under 10 years if you think about it. You combine all of it. His career may have lasted a long time, but if you put together all of his ring work, so he doesn't have, like, he's basically the world's oldest rookie. He's green as shit and old as fuck. So it's like you combine that with like the spotlight of a small time work rate. So it's like, all right, he's not built to be that guy. But for some reason, Vince keeps pushing him. And when he beat The Fiend, I was like, all right, where are we going with this? And then, like, what happened last night, where all he did is just kept like, I'm gonna do my fit. It's like the game started off with all the finishers. He just kept hitting like the X button or triangle button, and just kept hitting finisher at the finisher and see who's gonna pin who first.
I thought he beat The Fiend because of the Saudis.
I thought he did too.
The blood money. It's too enticing for Vince.
Yeah, we're just gonna. So let's go ahead and
Speaking of blood money, let's get into character of the week.
Great segue.
Love it. I love it.
You beat me to it. So the character of the week, the wrestler of the week is New Jack. For those of you who do not know, New Jack was a very, very violent and somewhat prominent wrestler during the
90s.
You don't say.
He epitomized 90s extreme wrestling in ECW and Ohio Valley Wrestling, and he never made it to the bigs because he was too ignorant and too just off the wall.
I tased the shit out of him.
Wanted to hire him and Paul Heyman had to tell him no, you can't hire him.
When Paul Heyman says no, you know that you're doing way too much.
But when Paul Heyman knew, was like, all right, maybe FCW. No. You want your wrestlers to like make it through, right? Yeah. Then you don't want him.
Could you imagine them signing New Jack to FCW when Brock was down there and them putting him in a hardcore match?
Him and Batista.
No.
Brock would have a scar down the middle of his face, Joe.
You know who he would definitely have like serious beef with just based off of their personality clashing? Batista. Because Batista, despite him being like big and muscular, he was like way more sensitive than most people would think. He was like, so like, I'm pretty sure like Brock, New Jack would have said something like slick to Batista, and Batista would have took it the wrong way or cried or something. But in the moment he sees that weakness in Batista, New Jack probably would have kept going.
Yeah. He would have bullied him. He would have Richie Incognito'd Batista.
So question, guys. What was your favorite part of that documentary though?
Wait. Before we get into that, we have to explain the reasoning behind choosing him. So the reason why we chose him this week is because of the release on Viceland of the New Jack documentary. As we've said in the last couple of weeks, Viceland has been giving us great content in their Dark Side of the Ring documentaries. So we've been prized to the Chris Benoit story, which included Eddie Guerrero. We had the Freebirds, not the Freebirds,
Von Erichs.
Von
Von
Erich.
Erichs.
The Von Erichs. Yes.
Fabulous
Mae
Moolah.
Young, Fabulous
Fabulous
Moolah.
Moolah.
Yeah. So they've been doing great
Montreal
work.
School Job.
And yes, the Montreal School Job. They've been doing great work.
Bruiser
and
Brody.
continue
Bruiser
to be-
Brody too.
Oh, yes. So if you're curious as to what we're talking about, a lot of the videos have been posted up on YouTube. Just look up Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but this past week we saw New Jack. So now, from that documentary, now we can go into
Our
your
favorite
portions
moment.
of the
All
let's
right,
start off. Let's do it in order. Mr. Petty, you go first.
Ryan, if I step on someone's toes because of this, oh well. My favorite reaction to it was D'Lo Brown, who kind of like came up with New Jack in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. When he saw one of the last or one of the latest clips of New Jack where he basically like attempted to murder this guy in the ring, and D'Lo, who knows New Jack, looks at that thing and he was just like this. Oh! Like he was visibly shook. Like he hasn't seen New Jack probably in years, or he probably has ran into New Jack. Like, how you been? Oh, fine, cool. Let me go back a few years ago and almost stabbed the guy. Like, and the fact that New Jack's reaction to it, he's all like talking about I stabbed the guy 17 times. Only stabbed him 9. He counted. Like, one time he stabbed him. In his head, he was like 1, 2, 3, 4.
He said, I know it because I counted it. It wasn't 17. It was 9. I counted every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, all right, Herb, what's your favorite part of the documentary?
I forget the name of the guy, but when the guy who dropped him, who
Vic Grimes.
Vic Grimes didn't even apologize to him for a whole entire year of him being out after he just crushed his damn skull. And then finally he's like, don't worry. And then he tases him at the top. It's like, oh, I can't feel my legs. Don't worry about it. You won't need them. It just throws him off the top. And
sail away.
And the fact that what's the name?
New Jack.
Rick told us they stopped the show instantly. Just like
completely stopped the show. They said Vic Grimes needs medical attention. That's the end of the show. It was 3 more matches left.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was what's the name? The only thing that happened to him was a dislocated. It was a dislocated ankle. Was the worst thing that happened to him.
And the thing about New Jack, no, go ahead. Everybody, go ahead.
No, I was saying he was actually aiming for the floor, and he was like,
he was trying to kill him.
He was really trying to kill him.
All right, so Rick, I know what you want to say, but I saved you for last for a reason. Go ahead.
So my personal favorite was it's so many. So if you guys can't tell about my excitement, I've been watching and researching New Jack for years. New Jack is just he's an incredible performer. I really wish he would have been signed to WWE Hardcore. So my favorite part of the whole Dark Side of the Ring thing is actually I Herb stole a little bit of my thunder with the whole Vic Grimes incident, but the best part of that afterwards is before in the locker room, Vic came up to New Jack and said, "I'm sorry," and Jack smacked him and said, "Oh, you ain't sorry yet." So then after he throws him off of the scaffolding, if you actually listen to the video on YouTube, you can hear Jack up there screaming, now we're even, motherfucker." Like it's incredible. It's just he's such a great performer. God damn it.
It's just amazing.
Between his matches and when he go on YouTube and look up his shoot interviews, and the fact that, like, all right, I used to always wonder, like, I would watch his matches when in his heyday. Like, I had like pay-per-view for Freaks at a black box, so I could see some of like ECW's pay-per-views, and I'm sitting there just looking at this thing like, yo, this is straight up garbage. Like, why am I? This isn't entertaining at all. Years later, in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, yo, we were witnessing like
attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
Like, yeah. He was the epitome of the 90s.
The thing about him is like, all right, so he came up in I forgot where he grew up in. Rick, where was his place? Where he grew up at?
It was somewhere in the South, Florida, I believe.
Thought he said Florida.
No.
All right.
No,
he's got a country accent.
Yeah.
I'm saying all this to say, like, when he went to Jim Cornette, I'm not going to say Jim Cornette is racist, but I will say that he understands how the world works. So Jim Cornette looks at New Jack and be like, yo, this guy's money. He said it his best. If Eddie Murphy was a tough street thug, it would be New Jack. Because New Jack could just like cut a promo like just straight up off the cuff and be great at it and know how to incite a riot. How do you incite a riot? Well, take a black man who don't know how to shut the fuck up, put him in front of a bunch of racist rednecks, and be like, I'm black and I'm proud, and that made him the villain? Sure. So he went on. So New Jack, once he realized, like, oh, y'all boo me because I say this? Cool. I'm going with it then. And he went in and he realized, like, yo, I can make money doing this.
Yeah.
And then,
I just looked him up. He's from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Okay.
All right.
At the height of his career, something happened that pushed his career to the next level, and that was the O.J. Simpson thing. New Jack took it, and him being such a genius, New Jack took it and ran
stole
with it.
my moment.
You know what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But like he in Smoky Mountain, he went up and cut a promo in front of all of these, for lack of a better term, rednecks, and said, "Shout out to my man O.J. Simpson, two best in the world."
He said, "Keep doing the good work."
Right.
He took out two, trying to take out some more.
Aaron LaGrange said, "What? How did I miss this?"
Yeah.
No, Aaron, I told you about it. I told you, bro. Hold up. Real quick.
Smoky Mountain is where?
After the mass transit incident, when Trey can go into details about the mass transit incident, but so he had to go to court for it. After he got out of court, they had a camera in his face and they said, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I got off like my man O.J. Simpson," and ran and got into a cab and drove off.
I figured it out.
Next level genius.
I figured it out. He's the old dirty bastard of pro wrestling.
Yes.
Like he just says and does and have like the certain aura of being like who he is. Like like it's fun to watch. It's not fun to be around. So it's like he's watching this stuff from a distance. You're like, wow, this guy's nuts. And then like everyone else is like, yo, this guy's nuts. Like it's just crazy.
So
man.
Jim Cornette. So they during the documentary, they also said that what's the difference between, I don't remember his real name, but the difference between
Jerome
Young and New Jack, and all of his closest people said there is no Jerome Young. There's only New Jack. He's not playing a character. He is himself in that ring.
Yeah.
So, but that is the reason. The stories we just laid out are reasons why you guys need to go watch these documentaries on YouTube or on Viceland TV. And check them out. We're not getting any promotionals for this. It's just that damn good that we're talking about it for free.
My favorite part of the documentary.
Just
my favorite part was
Mike Graham. Dude, if you like any type of chaos, just watch it on Viceland. It comes. What did you say? It comes on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
Tuesday, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern.
And the next episode that we have coming up, speaking of chaos.
Yeah.
The Brawl for it all. The story behind the story. WWE. You guys watch it. This is your Blurs and Whiskey homework for this week.
Yeah.
Go watch it this Tuesday and then come watch us on Sunday and you'll be part of the know. You got a whole week to catch up. You sitting at home, you ain't doing nothing. Watch that and then come back and check us out.
Watch the post show.
We're not going to tell you what happened yet. We're not going to go into detail. Watch this show on Tuesday at 10 on Viceland, or then wait for Wednesday when it's up on YouTube. Watch it. You'll see the debauchery. You'll know why we have these smiles on our faces.
Yeah.
So me and Mr. Petty have been given a little bit of background information on the Brawl for All.
Because we're wrestling nerds.
Do yourself a favor and please watch on Tuesday at 10 p.m. The Brawl for All was way more of a disaster than you people realize. It was a disaster.
I mean, just the simple thought of, hey, let's make a tough guy competition, but we're pro wrestlers.
Mm.
The thing is, pro wrestlers are not brawlers. They're not fighters.
They're not.
They think they are.
Some of them are.
Some of them are.
But
a lot of them aren't.
Nah, it's just it's the disaster waiting to happen. And if you remember, just wait.
I will call it a disaster piece.
Yeah. Yes.
Accurate.
Okay, guys, keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So, Big Herb, hit us with that throwback show of the week.
Yeah, we're gonna, since it's WrestleMania weekend, and we're gonna stick on the topic of wrestling. Why not talk about one of the shows from back in the day that's not anymore? WCW Thunder.
Not to be confused with Thunder in Paradise.
No, it's
Both equal levels of terrible.
it's god. I mean, it's god awful. I mean,
forgot about Thunder in Paradise. Oh my god!
It's a glorified version of WWE Heat, or back then WWF Heat. It's a jobber show. It's a recap show, and none of the other main wrestlers was there at all.
I remember Thunder trying to compete with SmackDown, but then they realized it's not going to happen. So what they use that show for is just to film a bunch of this stuff that they filmed in Florida. With Universal Studios?
Yeah.
So they just filmed like all the house shows and local talent in Universal Studios. So now, in hindsight, and I think Herb might have missed this, and this is the hindsight in some gems that I like to say about WCW Thunder, is it was also it was a breeding ground for a lot of tryout matches. Mm-hmm. So you get to see a lot of the wrestlers that are some are legends and some are forgotten, but you see like some of their humble beginnings as like either jobbers or house shows or stuff like that. So that's kind of why I like Thunder, because it's like you go now. I didn't like it then, but I like it now. Like go back, like, oh snap, Christopher Daniels was on an episode of Thunder. Oh man, they did have AJ Styles on Thunder. Wow, they really did have the Great Muta on Thunder. You know, it's stuff like that.
The Jobber Show.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, it's a lot of trial matches, so we get to see like, you know, humble beginnings.
Also, they used it as a vehicle to push Glacier. So,
and Glacier is probably like, why isn't Glacier in the WWE Hall of Fame yet?
That fact was so good. Trey had to go off her camera.
Like, why? Why you gotta bring him that horrible knockoff of Mortal Kombat?
You know what is crazy though? You know, the money that Eric Bischoff paid for his entrance was more than most wrestlers' salary. They dumped all of that into a guy who was essentially a cartoon character
who got squashed by Goldberg in like 10 seconds.
But he had a rivalry with Mortis. That was that was like who's better than Mortis?
Whose real name was Chris Canyon. Who's better? Way more respect than he should.
Canyon.
Who's better than Mortis?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Canyon had some of the cool.
So I just.
It was just, guys, it was just bad altogether. They were trying to just have it go back and forth with SmackDown. It lasted from January 8th of 98 to March 21st of 2001. 156 episodes. It really wasn't even worth. The only reason why we're bringing this up is WrestleMania week. Can we please move on?
You brought it up.
156 episodes?
Speaking...
Yes, it did. Well, I mean, if you look at it for a 4-year span, it's like 4 weeks. I mean, 4 years. So it's about.
Yo, your math sucks, dude.
Yeah, it really does. I barely passed.
Stop mathing.
Yeah. Anywho, moving forward.
Stop pouring.
Why?
Because we can hear it.
We can hear everything.
It's not an ASMR show. All right, look.
So why don't we? Since I'm pouring, why don't we talk about what we're pouring here?
Oh yeah. So
segue. We killing the set game.
Thank you.
Killing it. Segway game is on 1,000 this week.
So because last week I dropped the ball, I own up to that one. I forgot to post the drink of the week. So because
I'm still pouring.
Going, you are still pouring. We are drinking yet again Tito's vodka because I forgot to post a picture. So I'm not gonna forget to post a picture. And guys, what are you drinking? Mr. Petty, since you want to pour so goddamn much, what are you drinking?
Well, I did Tito's vodka, and I did grapefruit juice, and then I did blackberries and some basil over ice and a couple of spoonfuls of sugar. Shook well in shaker and then pour. And I have this wonderful drink called a Greyhound with some flair to it.
Nice.
Woo! So I'm going with same thing, Tito's vodka, but I found that they actually had because my favorite juice line is was it Simply the Simply Fruits section. So I found out that they had Simply Peach. So I said, hey, what the hell? Simply Peach and Tito's. So tastes really good.
Okay. All right. Maestro.
Of course, got the Tito's vodka, and I thought since we were doing Thunder's Throwback Show of the Week, I have a Mountain Dew Voltage, and then also just to mix it up a little bit, I added some Simply Tropical Juice to it, and I'm gonna call this the Boneyard drink, dedicated to AJ Styles and the Undertaker last night.
Oh God!
What about you guys?
Y'all know I'm bad at making drinks. So
you use what, vodka and ice, screwdrivers,
ginger ale, cranberry. As soon as I stop vanishing, the watermelon, Red Bull, and the vodka. That's what I did on ice. So yeah.
All right.
I've been told it tastes good.
You call that Sunday Night Messiah?
There you go. So a lot of people. One conversation we wanted to have before we get into the main WrestleMania stuff was basically how a lot of people are thinking that AEW is handling the lack of an audience a lot better than WWE. As we saw last night, it was really hard to watch those matches. Some of them were good. The workers are still working, but AEW at least has their roster in the crowd to be the crowd. Yeah. It may not be smart to do so because of social distancing, but I think it's a better idea. So that sparked an argument between me and Cam of, AEW versus AEW fans hating on WWE, so on and so forth.
Well, I mean, like I said, I feel like everyone's picking sides like we're actually invested in it. I personally have not invested any money in either company, so I don't have that much stake into it. But people are legit over here like gang colors, trying to act like that this show is like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
AEW.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
WWE, nigga.
WWE, man. No, but it's like people are really like almost like instantly like drawing battle lines where there aren't any battle lines. Like the wrestlers themselves don't really hate the other wrestlers. Like some of them, like they give props on Twitter to each other while good shows. So it's like,
what's the name?
Kenny Omega.
Corey said AEW is just bullshit wrestling. Wow.
First of all, fuck you,
Moving forward.
No, what did I tell y'all? Stop giving him attention. That's what he wants.
Moving forward.
I just had to say it. Like,
all right. So AEW to me is a good wrestling show, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's not a good wrestling show. I'm not saying that WWE is better. I'm just saying that as a fan, I enjoy right now in this, this new era of new wrestling. Like there's a bunch of wrestling now. There's different avenues that you can explore and watch all kinds of wrestling, and that's what I'm enjoying. People over here, like they like to crap on what's on top because it's popular, and once it's popular, it's like the status quo. You can't love something that's popular. So almost any and everything they do, they always hate whatever WWE is doing and praise AEW because AEW right now is the underdog. So it's cool to like the underdog. If you like the popular thing, you're a shield for the corporation. But if you are still holding on to your underground roots, you like AEW, even though AEW is on TNT, which is a multi-billion-dollar cable network.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I'm a fan of wrestling. I'm not a diehard true. I don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't watch ROH. I've been a WWE fan and a WCW fan and an ECW fan my entire life. I didn't get into the indies. I never had access to it. I didn't know how to find access to it. But now, as I'm older, I've started to grow and starting to learn where I can see different things and learn about different wrestlers. So I remember when we were in the college, we went to the same college, and because I had like the black box, I would tape the old, like back in the day before they actually had their own network, the old TNA episodes. And when it was just getting started, and they had like a $10 a week pay-per-view schedule.
They had some pretty good matches. They actually had some damn good matches. I would bring those tapes to school and be like, hey, y'all, check these. This is a new wrestling company, blah, blah. Someone, I'm not going to say names because I kind of forgot them, but they were like, oh, they're so good. Why aren't they on WWF? I'm like, dude, it's an alternative wrestling company. They're not as good as WWF. Like, he just kept saying, like, because this is the big leagues, if they're so good, they would be here. And I'm like, that's not how wrestling works. Like, it's all about time and opportunity. But as a wrestling fan, if you're a wrestling fan, you should enjoy other wrestling companies and promotions in different styles. But if you're just a WWE fan, cool. Just admit you're a WWE fan and you just like this one particular style because it's got all the glitz and glamour and the Hulk Hogan behind it.
Yeah, and it's also just good to just have a different outlet. Yeah, just
Hulk Hogan behind it.
It's also just good just to have something different to watch. I mean, since Vince McMahon wants to be Kirby and just suck up all the extra talent around him, so he could just have his one whole company. Just had this is good to just
don't say suck up. Just say he wants to sign all the popular wrestlers.
You know what the hell I'm talking about,
Crazy.
Okay? He's.
I know. Everybody else doesn't know.
We all knew, Trey.
He wants to sign all the people he could possibly can to have his mega giant business.
It's a monopoly. He wants to have a monopoly.
He wants to have his own. So, I mean, but it's also just good to have that fresh breath of air, just watching AEW, watching ROH, watching any other promotion out there. It's just good to just see something else for a change. And, I mean, the fact that it's actually good, is big enough to actually be on TNT is actually cool. Look, I grew up during the Monday night wars. It's good to see the Wednesday night wars now. I mean, it's not as big, but I mean, it's still good to watch.
It's fun to watch.
I mean,
competition.
I was just gonna say it's gotten to the point to where it's that UFC thing. You know what I mean? UFC and MMA have kind of become the same thing. So when you say I want to watch an MMA fight, people don't know that there's Bellator, there's one championship, there's whatever. They just think, oh, you're gonna watch that UFC stuff. Well, it's something different. It's the same thing with WWE and wrestling. When you tell people you're gonna watch wrestling, they think that you're gonna say. People even to this day still say WWF. You know what I mean? So and again, and people like Cam said, it's popular. Like the one thing that we love in this country is to build people up. The thing that we love more than that is to tear them down. So when something is on top, we instantly have to tear it down and kind of come for the crown. But I mean, it's no point. Like people are competing for stuff that they have no vested interest in. It's just like I'm not gonna sit here and wave my WWE flag, even though that's the wrestling that I grew up watching and loved. Like that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, and that's kind of where we're at now. But
yeah. So
I mean, I can literally go on and on about that whole topic because, like I mentioned to Trey Popper not that long ago. For me, you got like you said, people love to, as much as they love to build stuff up, they love to tear things down more. So everyone has like their favorite wrestler that's not being pushed or promoted, or they love to say the word buried. People love to throw the word buried around like really fast for a wrestler who's not winning as much as they would want them to win. And then, so everyone loves like that underdog. Everyone loves that thing that's not the top at that moment. So that's good, but it's not the top. So therefore, to them, it's their own thing. They take it as a personal thing. And then once that thing becomes popular, it's no longer cool to like it because now it's the thing that you hate because it's popular now. It's on top.
But you're not a real fan if you're that damn fickle. Like you stick to your guns. Whoever you like, you like.
But the sense of entitlement with fans nowadays, they got people who like we all like in the 80s when Hulk Hogan was the man. He wasn't the man because he had a better work rate than every other wrestler. He wasn't a man because
he was picked.
He was handpicked by Vince McMahon. He said, looked at the guy and says, I can make money with this guy. And that's what it started off with. And that's how all the champions are chosen because they say, hey, I can make money with this guy. So not every wrestler that you like is going to make money. If they don't make money, they're not going to give him the belt. They're not going to give him the top spot.
Perfect example of that is the New Day. Like I hated the New Day. But people started loving them. They started getting more TV time. They could develop their character. They could develop their quirkiness and twerking. and people love it. So it's like, but I like them because they actually put on good matches. Like I watch their matches, and it's like, wow, these guys really can go. They can really sell. They can wrestle their asses off.
Yeah.
The characters kind of hate them, but yeah,
we go. We like I said, we don't want to get too far into this. We go down
you're right. All right,
yeah.
So let's go ahead and go back to that boneyard match to everyone. We're all. I think I'm going to be in a minority on this one because I did actually like it though. Like, yeah,
that's because you like bad movies, Cam.
I'm gonna stop.
You like bad movies. Last night, that was a damn bad movie.
That was it though. It was a movie. It was a wrestling movie. It wasn't a match
movie.
It was a wrestling movie.
Yeah.
The Undertaker teleported, nigga. Like,
wow. Okay, everyone, stop.
Go.
No, please, stop. Trey, that's your takeaway. That's your argument. The Undertaker teleported. That's what made you mad. Undertaker teleported.
It's the whole bunch of shit that made me mad.
First of all,
he had pyro.
Undertaker's been teleporting since 1994.
Yeah. He's got a point there.
Undertaker has been like shooting his hands up, and lightning has been striking certain places and certain things on fire. So from the get go. So just because it's in a movie format and not a wrestling ring, that's why you have an issue with it. That shit was a cinematic genius. You had great camera angles. You had a good musical score. We also have to say like, hey, this music sounds really eerie, familiar, blah blah blah. Yeah, had a great musical score. Had good. I mean, the dialogue. Okay, look, they're not actors. They're professional wrestlers. They're not actors. So
I know.
Dialogue. I will downgrade the dialogue. The choreography. Again, they're both professional wrestlers. They're not like they've never done the stunt. They've never done stunt work before. So it all still. But the fact that they took something that was going on with the coronavirus, a no crowd thing, they made it a boneyard match. They turned that into a good. All right. If it didn't involve Undertaker and AJ Styles, and you saw this as a movie, would you hate it?
Yes.
Would you? So you say something like on YouTube, like a YouTube short film, and you see this like, oh, it's like their characters are wrestlers who are fighting.
If it was a YouTube short, so I just wanted a little bit more production quality. I wanted to be a little bit more believable. Like, dude, come on now. Yes, I wanted it to be. I'm talking about my wants. I wanted it to be a little bit more believable.
What was unbelievable? The fact that he teleported?
The fact that he cut his arm, and one shot it was covered in blood. The next shot, there was no blood. The next shot, there was no cut at all. Like, there's no consistency. Undertaker was thrown in the grave and he was buried. He was covered in dirt, and he teleports and he's clean. So
but again, you're mad that he teleported.
He teleports.
You're mad that he teleported.
Well, fellas, so I mean, just to say this too, Cam, I'm with you on this one. And I mean, I actually, because in the beginning when I first watched it, I was like, it looked like a bootleg version of Sons of Anarchy. But I mean, I actually looked at it again this morning. I was like, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was the first time.
Wait. You watched that atrocity twice?
I watched it twice, and I didn't think it was great. I thought it was just what it was. It's a movie version of a wrestling match. It's not wrestling. I mean, it's not like the wrestling show that we're used to every single time. We're in the midst of a crisis right now.
And they did the best they could.
That's exactly why I thought the show was just
okay. I'll be the only guy that didn't like it. I haven't said anything yet.
I haven't said anything yet.
Go ahead.
So I get where Cam and Herb are coming from. It's a wrestling movie. That's cool. I watched it again this morning myself. Actually, I watched it last night again.
Trey is pissed.
Don't be pissed about it because I honestly did it. I honestly did it because I wanted a little bit more perspective, right? And I still have the same feelings that I had last night. I didn't like it. I did like the production values aside. Fuck all that. I wasn't expecting much in that area. I want Vince to stop going and leaning on all these old wrestlers that can barely go.
Yes, I will agree with you on that.
Like, The Undertaker is 55 years old. Dude, you got to let it go at some point.
The Undertaker is the Liam Nielsen of pro wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. Dog. Yes. I'm trying to tell you, like it's like, all right, cool. It's a boneyard match. It's physical. At one point, The Undertaker was about to get jumped by 8 dudes.
Yeah.
and he fought them all
I
off.
forgot.
Detroit.
Yeah, like,
Who the hell were they?
bro, that's what I'm saying. Like they took his druids turned on him because now he was biker gang taker again.
And he still beat him. And then they do the bad movie credit of let's attack him one at a time. That'll get him.
Right. I'm just like, yo, come on, man. Now, granted, I understand.
First of all, hey, hold up. That is classic.
All attacking at the same time.
That is classic. Rent a Ninja 101 fight tactics, where you have to be in a circle formation, and it has to be one at a time. Why would you jump people?
Bro, I get it, but goddamn, man, like, and then you have one of the best international tag teams of all time.
Yeah, the best what?
Got him. You got one of the best international. You got one of the best tag teams of all time. But of course, Vince hates tag team wrestling. You got Anderson and Gallows, and the Undertaker deals away with them like it's J&J Security, some shit. You know what I mean? Like, at what point do we get to retire the old stars? Like, I get it for nostalgia purposes, them showing up every now and then, but it doesn't have to every year at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? All we get, we got Brock to beat the Undertaker, and we got Roman Reigns to beat the Undertaker when his dumbass was supposed to be retiring, but then he comes back and now he's back. Like, come on, man. Stop it.
Every time he comes back, it makes his retirement look, those matches that he did get beat look less and less significant.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, Undertaker. Speaking of when Undertaker was defeated, so I remember years ago I watched it live. Did we all watch it live? I know Trey was with me, and I know Off Camera guy was there too. What was some of y'all reactions when the Undertaker lost?
Oh God.
Let's start with Herb then.
Yeah, I'll go with this because I remember it like it was yesterday. We went to a bar. Me and my homie Mike went to the bar to watch it. And I mean, I'm sitting there saying the whole entire time, "Oh, this is gonna be another WrestleMania where Taker wins the game. He's gonna be 22-0, and it's nothing." And then all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? Like, and I mean, I was kind of like everybody else's reaction, like Ellis was. I mean, it was just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, seriously, like
Ellis embodies everybody's reaction to that match.
Yeah, because he was legit like he was just like legit like zombie stuck face.
Yeah, he was like what the hell just happened? Like this,
that was all of us. I was pissed.
Shout out to Ellis for making a whole career off of being a fan in that moment. Because I mean, like I think he actually works for the WWE now. Well, in like a lower level thing, but he's got a job there.
Wow.
But like he's not like production wise, but he's not on the screen. But exactly. All right, Trey. You said you were pissed.
I was highly pissed. I was like, how? Like, of all people, like what? But I understand the passing of the torch, and I'm thinking, okay, now he's retiring, he's older. I get it. So I was calm later, but at first I was like, how? Why?
Hey, Rick, what about you?
You all know my feelings for Brock Lesnar. The face that I have on right now, that I had on in that moment, I was pissed because I was just like, so Shawn Michaels couldn't do it with retirement on the line.
Ric
give it to this big square jaw motherfucker.
It was like 5 years in a row where Undertaker went through Triple H twice and Shawn Michaels twice.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was Brock, wasn't it?
No, because it was CM Punk. It wasn't CM Punk before that.
Yeah. See, it was.
Yeah.
He did. He actually wanted to lose
twice. It was Shawn twice.
Hunter twice.
Hunter twice. CM Punk, and then it was Brock.
And Brock. So he finally lost to a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
But all right. So for me, like I said, I was in the same house as Off Camera guy and Trey. So when it happened, it was kind of like boom. We
thought he was gonna kick out.
Right. We've been drinking, so it's, we're all like, we're just all of a sudden we hear the bell ring. Right. We're like 1, 2, 3, ding ding ding. And we heard 3, but we didn't think 3 happened. And then 1, 2, 3, ding ding ding. wait, what? And I literally like was just like looking at the TV, like the house was silent, the arena was silent.
Yeah.
Like they had
right.
they had various like they had various like reactions and stuff, but in the house we were just like,
yo, off-camera
seriously.
wife is still hurt.
We were like, yeah, we were all there. So we were like, what just happened? Like, no, seriously, what just happened? He didn't kick out. He didn't what now? Like, no,
yeah.
And then like, and you're a winner. We're like, what? Like even Paul Heyman, who was his biggest supporter, was shocked.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So, because we got to wrap things up, let's get this out the way. Let's go around the table. What was each of your favorite WrestleMania moment? Mr. Petty, you go first.
All right. I want to say mine, but I know that it's the same as yours, Mr. Proper. So I'm going to skip that one.
I know that. We don't know.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've been friends for years, my dude.
Just go, man. Just go.
I want to skip mine. All right, fine. I will say another one is some of the WrestleMania entrances have been like their show off of the budget.
Yeah.
So like for me, one of my favorite ones was always I think it was WrestleMania 29 with CM Punk, as we just mentioned earlier. WrestleMania 29 with CM Punk when like it was smoke and fog and like you're seeing like various like arms and limbs that's just reaching up and stuff.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope as hell.
And then Undertaker's just walking past him like whatever. Like all those represented, like each time he
souls of the damned.
Souls of people who tried to defeat me at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that to me was kind of like a wow moment. But there was also like a Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, and some of those matches were pretty memorable. Again, I'm not going to say my favorite one because I know it's yours.
21.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you, Trey. Go ahead.
Rick, what you got?
WrestleMania 7.
Wow.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Coming down from the rooftop.
Okay. Is that the Iron Man one?
The Iron Man match with him and Bret Hart.
Okay, was that your favorite match as well?
Yes. That was absolutely my favorite match because like I said earlier, that match is what made me fall in love with wrestling. Like I've been watching wrestling for years at that point, but that match, watching those two, like at the height of their powers, go at it for an hour. Actually, the match went off. The match was a 60-minute Iron Man match, but it had to go on for an additional 30 minutes. These motherfuckers wrestled for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they gave you everything that they had. And that shit was incredible. That's still one of the greatest matches I've ever seen.
Beautiful.
Not like each other. Brett and Shawn had chemistry that can't be copied.
Mm-hmm. They had beef. They had chemistry. Yeah. It was all.
He tore the middle. Back when Shawn Michaels used to not have a bald spot right here before he shaved all this, Brett is the reason why he had a bald spot right there because he ripped out the top head of his hair.
Yeah.
And he came into Vince's office like, I can't work like this.
Unsafe work environment.
Exactly. Herb, what you got?
So I have a few. I came into the game as far as with wrestling. Now, I mean, we all watched it as we were kids watching WrestleMania 1 and 2 and 3 and everything. But for a long time, I wasn't watching until I got to like WrestleMania 15. My mom and dad weren't paying for pay-per-view. So WrestleMania 15 was my very first one that I actually fell in love with. Even though looking back, it wasn't the greatest one, but like watching Rock and Stone Cold go at it, that's when I fell in love with wrestling again. But as far as my favorite match,
what WrestleMania was that?
Wait, that was WrestleMania 15.
No.
Rock and Stone Cold. 15. Yes, it was. I'm telling you, look back on it. WrestleMania 15 is when Stone Cold gave me the first one that I seen.
But we're not debating if you saw it. It's just what WrestleMania is that.
That was WrestleMania 15.
They had 2 WrestleMania matches.
They had 3 WrestleMania matches.
They had 3?
But I think the first one that they had together was WrestleMania 15. WrestleMania 14 was with Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. And then 15 was The Rock because that's when he was with the corporate. He was the corporate eyebrow and the people's eyebrow.
Is that wait, hey Herb? Is that the same one where like the Rock took the camera and looked down at Stone Cold?
That was Backlash the very next month.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, but as far as my favorite matches, my favorite two matches were Kofi Mania and WrestleMania. And it was the build up for WrestleMania starting from SummerSlam the year prior, all the way up to around that time when WrestleMania happened. But the main one for me was Kofi Mania because it was finally I got to see somebody in my lifetime of color. Now, granted, we talk about Rock, but I mean, as far as like I can actually say like that's me. That's a person that looks just like me. Who won one of the top titles?
Yeah, but you see, kind of like her.
You a little like it, bro.
I look more like Kobe than you do.
Say, homie, you on this side?
I say you got a Savio Vega kind of.
But it was. I remember us singing "Lift Every Voice" and sing at the bar, just watching that. Like that was one of the greatest moments in wrestling.
We all had that moment with Kobe.
I'm still mad you Bombers did not know the second verse to "Lift Every Voice" and sing. That was so embarrassing.
I called
I'm the only one singing, like for real.
I remember when Kofi won, and I even called Mr. Proper. I was like, "Yo," we were like, "Yo." And then we just hung up. Like we didn't have to say anything. Yo. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Trey. Say our favorite moment.
Yeah. Like we didn't know. Go ahead. When'd you cry?
My favorite moment is WrestleMania 20. Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero both coming down. I'm just saying, I cried because I've been a fan of WCW. I've been a fan of WWE. I've watched it for years, and I've seen these guys come when they came to the majors. I've seen them basically grow up in the business, and they were my two favorite wrestlers at the time. Unfortunately, we know how that happened. Check out Bison to see the Dark Side of the Ring. That was my favorite moment. My favorite match. Hands down, Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. I'm an emotional dude. I can't help it.
You act like we don't know who you are.
I'm sorry. I love you.
I can't help it. When he looks at Rick at the end of this match and he says, "I'm sorry, I love you," and super kicks Ric Flair. I'm blubbering.
Anyone who's part of the Blurs and Whiskey family should definitely go on a fan page because I shared a video that I personally edited, which is called like when you add Celine Dion's music to certain scenes to make it
for that. I just
to make it more emotional.
It's actually dope as hell.
It's dope as hell. Right, that scene that Trey was talking about. As soon as he hits him with that super kick.
Hold up, time out. Tracy Colladilla says Herb looks like Rikishi.
Oh shit!
Really, Mom? Really?
Your mama
Wow, Mom. Really?
Wow.
Yo.
Wow. She just. I thought one more bite was worse. I thought one more bite was bad, but wow. You
actually
are Ric Flair or Shawn Michaels.
I do have one thing to add to like our favorite moments of WrestleMania.
Okay.
Now y'all gonna be mad at me because I don't remember specifically which WrestleMania year this was, but I do know that it was the third and final match between The Rock and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
It was Rock and Austin on the third take when Rock was becoming Hollywood. Austin had just come back from him just up and quitting the company. And this is the third time that Rock and Austin had their match up at WrestleMania, where they're the two top guys of their era. So WrestleMania 17, everyone remembers that one a lot more because of the fact that that whole wrestling pack, that whole music video package for WrestleMania 17, I still watch to this day.
My way or the highway.
Right. So I want to say it's WrestleMania 19.
WrestleMania 19.
It might be 19, but like Rock was Hollywood. Rock was Hollywood. He was the heel, and he won. He beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, what no one didn't realize at that moment, except for maybe Austin and maybe The Rock, but that was Stone Cold Steve Austin's very last wrestling match.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not only was that moment great for me, but I look back at some of the behind the scenes moments, which is what I love. And Austin,
we still don't know what he said.
No, we don't. Okay, so we don't know.
So
Rock
said on the Q&A what he said.
He did say what he said. He said, "Thank you, man, and I love you." To Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah. He pushed the ref out the way. He's like, "Yo, this ain't for you." Push the ref out the way, and like while Stone Cold Steve Austin was on the ground, rather than paying, selling, he goes, "Thank you, man, and I love you."
No, I'm talking about when they got to the back, because there's a closing door moment between just The Rock and the Stone Cold.
Oh, okay.
And they had a conversation,
position.
and neither of them want to tell anybody what they talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, like I said, like WrestleMania, that's why WrestleMania always has a certain prestige to it, because it's like
that aura. Yeah,
that aura, because like everyone has like that's the moment for them, and moments like that, like not only was that moment great, but behind the scenes and realizing what we had just witnessed was like that makes that moment even grander, because we we see like that was their last interaction, that was an all-time great. That was his last match, and he went out and he was very selfless and decided to like go out and he wasn't necessarily passing the torch per se, but he definitely was like, if you look back in the interview, he said something very realistic where it's like, look, I don't want no tears. I don't want no saying, oh, poor Stone Cold Steve Austin, he went out. Like, no, I'm a cog in a machine. You take this worn out cog, you throw it away, and you put a new cog in. And so the machine will still keep going without that cog. That's all I am.
Yeah.
And my contribution
needs to go back and look at that interview.
All right, guys. So we are 7 minutes over our time.
7 minutes over. I apologize, y'all.
It's all good. It's WrestleMania weekend.
Yes. I mean, y'all, it's not like we could do this all day. It's not like y'all do anything else. Just remember to, of course, before we roll out, great conversation, guys. Did a great job. Before we roll out, remember sketch comedy, sketchlinkscomedy.com.
Shout out to Devin.
They're dropping April 9th. You're going to see your boy there. IMDb credit.
Yes, Mr. DeVille.
Yes. Also, check out The Haunter on YouTube. Also, check out the Dark Side of Wrestling to see the Brawl for All for next week when we talk about it.
Yep.
And most importantly, besides
like, share,
and subscribe to Words and Whiskey.
I'm about to say, hold up.
We can do more.
You got your boy on TikTok here, killing it.
Oh yeah.
Get your boy here, killing it on TikTok. Soon.
Pick him in my cam.
Yeah, I got you. You got your boy killing it on TikTok. Hashtag Camism. You got your boy also soon, very soon. All the characters of the week that you've seen as individuals are also on YouTube. So let's look up hashtag Camism and you'll find like my page. Soon to find on your page, you also we'll see that there's going to be a spin-off series soon for myself, and obviously going to feature like a lot of the Blurts and Whiskey crew. Like you said, the more we grow, we're growing. We're expanding, we're growing. One of the growth is I'm going to have a spinoff series soon, so keep a lookout for that. I'm definitely going to put y'all the links. Three Black Geeks, Haunter, Devin, Sketchlings, Overtime TV. Like, yo, that's my boy. We're all doing it, So eventually, like I said, it's going to be like an empire. We're growing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So keep sharing.
Also, one more plug. Be sure to look out on Wednesday for Herb's comic book journey. Last week we did the Fantastic Four. I haven't picked one yet. Go ahead.
I wish you would talk to me about before you picked that damn guy. I was like, he is really reading Ultimate Fantastic.
It was different. I mean, we'll talk about it after the show, but
let the man.
It's a journey. Right? It's a journey.
I know. That's
it's a journey. I didn't say it was it would always be the best one. I said it's a journey. But be sure to check out every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I post it up in the fan group, and I also put.
Do better.
I also
do what you want.
Yeah, and I put it on our YouTube page, so be sure to check that out every Wednesday. Also, go on blursandwhiskey.com, look up prior episodes, and go and get that merch.
All right, Herb, take us away.
Yeah.
Well,
so
look, Rick, you got anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug before we go?
I'm still mad that Brock Lesnar beat the streak.
Come on, Herb, take us home, man. Take us home.
All right, as we always do, up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Drink, motherfucker, drink. And we out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that technicolor rainbow in between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Big Herb.
And thank you for watching Blurs and Whiskey.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms.
And check us out on blursandwhiskey.com.
Be sure to get that merch.
And come take this shot.